So I got home the other day and noticed that all of my cameras on my CCTV had stopped working. I did have an issue with one or two of them, but for all of them to stop at the same time, I'm willing to bet it's something to do with the power supply. Let's go have a look. So I got myself a replacement power supply. This is the HikVision brand, but it's only an 8 channel, so I ended up buying 2. And what's nice about it is you can see that it's got these different settings. So normal, long and extra long, depending on how long your cables are to your cameras. So if your cameras are quite far away from your power supply, then you'll put it on extra long, and what that will do is it will increase the voltage supplied to the camera. And the reason for this is because the longer the cable, the more the voltage drop from the power supply to the camera. So that's quite nifty. And the nice thing about having 2, so I've got 14 cameras in total, so that's why I need 2 8-channel power supplies. It's a little bit cumbersome having 2 power supplies, but I couldn't find this in a 16 channel. And I also figured that if I've got 2 power supplies, if one of them does pack up, then it's much easier to also identify that it is the power supply, because I'll know which cameras are linked to the one power supply, and only those cameras would have stopped working. The other thing that's nice about having 2 power supplies is that some of my cameras are quite close to the to the power supply, and some of them that are at the boundary walls are quite far. So by having 2 power supplies, I can set one of the power supplies to normal voltage, have all the cameras that are close to the power supply connected to this one, and then for the second power supply I'll set it to long or extra long, and then connect only those cameras that are further away to that particular power supply. So it also gives me that flexibility, which I thought was great. Okay, so quite easy to install. You'll see there's 8 channels here, positive, negative, negative, positive, negative, positive. So we're just gonna unscrew this and put in the cables for the cameras in here, which I'll show you in a short while. And then the actual power connection is quite easy. This end goes in here, and then we'll just plug this into a 2-pin socket, and yeah, quite simple. Okay, so how this works is you turn the screw, and what the screw does, you see I've turned the first 2, is it lowers the silver part here, so you can put your cable in the top, and then as you tighten the screw, the silver part will go up like it is on the rest of them, and that will hold the cable in place. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to loosen all of them. So you see, as I turn it, see how it drops down. So that's when you loosen it, and then if you tighten it, it comes up again. So I'm just going to do this for all of them, so it's easier when I get to putting the cables in, everything's already ready. Okay, so let's go ahead and connect the wires. So you should have a black wire and a red wire for each channel or for each camera, and the black wire would then connect to the negative terminal, and the red wire to the positive terminal. If you don't have black and red wires, when you do remove your old power supply, just make sure you keep track of which wire is the negative and which wire is the positive. Okay, so let's get the negative wire in there. Okay, make sure it goes all the way in. And then you can tighten. Okay, and then put the red wire in the positive slot. Okay, and then tighten. Okay, and then we'll do that for every camera. Now we'll connect the plug-in, and let's see if it works. Okay, the power is on. All the green lights are on. Let's check if our cameras are working. Okay, I've got 8 cameras connected and there we go, 8 of them working. So next I'll connect the second power supply. Okay, I've added in my second power supply. All 14 of my cameras are working. Interesting to note that I had 3 or 4 cameras that actually weren't working before all of them went out, and just by changing the power supply I was able to get them to work again.